Hello everyone. We are Group 3 now presenting to you the self-awareness and Filipino values.
Good morning, ma'am. My name is Clarence Jaso, and this is my report of nature of self and self-awareness. Be aware of their own body, its appearance, state, and size, body size. Be able to refer to himself appropriately through language and be able to distinguish description which apply to self and which do not be aware of their own personal. History experience, they have had skills and abilities, their own needs and wishes. Para sa akin lang po, ma'am, higit pa sa pisikal na kalusugan, maaari ring maapekto ang imahe ng katawan sa emosyonal na kagalingan. Ang mga taong nakaranas sa mataas na antas ng kawalang kasiyahan sa katawan ay mas malamang na magudusa mula sa damdamin ng depression, pagkabalisa, kalungkutan at mababang pagpapahalaga sa sarili. Ayun lamang po.
Magandang umaga po sa inyo o magandang hapon. Ako nga po pala si Jason Marcaida at ipipresent ko po ngayon ay emotional self-awareness. It is the ability to recognize of our emotion and their effects on us. This means that we are aware of we react to environment factors and how our emotion affects our performance. The person who passes complete of emotion self-awareness is one who ang sabi po dito, ang emotional na kamalayan sa sarili ay talagang ang kakayahang makilala at maunawaan ang iyong mga sarili. Ang damdamin at kung paano nilang na-impluwensya ng iyong mga naiisip at kilos. Ang 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 isang tao ay may ganitong kakayahan ay karaniwang isang taong makakilala ang kanilang mga damdamin, kalakasan at kahinaan na mapapahintulot sa kanila at na mahusay na pamamaraan na kanilang mga reaksyon at pakikipag-ugnayan sa iba. Ang kamalayan sa sarili na ito ay isang pangunahing aspeto ng emosyonal na katalinuhan at maaring bumuntong sa pinakamahusay na pagganap at mga reaksyon. Yun lamang po, maraming salamat.
Ang emotional self-awareness, ito ay ang kakayahang maunawaan ang iyong sariling emosyon. Malalaman kung bakit naramdaman mo ang isang bagay at may paliwanag ang iyong reaksyon sa iba't ibang sitwasyon. Ang pagkakaroon ng emosyonal na pagsasarili, alam ay nagbibigay daan sa iyo na maging mas epektibo sa pag-handle ng iyong sarili, emosyon at may pag-ugnayan ng mas maayos sa ibang tao.
Accurate self-assessment. Ito yung kakayahang malaman ng ating panloob na mga mapagkukunan, kakayahan at limitasyon at magkaroon ng kamalayan sa ating mga kalakasan at kahinaan. Malalaman natin ang mga potensyal at limitasyon kung tayo ay positibo. Bumuo ng bagong pananaw sa ating sarili at dapat maging motibasyon sa profesional na mga paglago. Mayroon tayong kakayahang mga mag-target ng lugar para sa personal na pagbabago at pagpapabuti.
In accurate self-assessment, the person who is capable of accurate self-evaluation should have the following instances. First is having a sense of humor about him or herself. Having a sense of humor can improve one's health, since it acts the emotional buffer preventing negative things from depressing, as we all know ourselves when there are down times. Since humorously interpreting negative circumstance improves general quality of life. Second is being aware of our own strengths and weaknesses. Being aware of our own capabilities and limitation, since accurately self-assessment is the capacity to accurately analyze oneself, recognizing our own strengths and flaws. Because of this, we are aware of what we are capable of doing to keep our strengths and improve our weaknesses. Lastly, being open to feedback. Being open to criticism, suggestion, as well as the actively engaging with the personal growth and development, demonstrate an individual willingness to capacity to acquire knowledge from the constructive feedback.
Self-confidence. Ang self-confidence ay nangunguluhagang pagkakaroon ng tiwala o paniniwala sa sarili. Sa pamamagitan ng pagkakaroon nito ng paghuhubog ang pagkatao ng isang tao, lumalakas ang paniniwala sa kanyang sarili. Sa kanyang sarili, abilidad o kaya na talento. May ang kalagahan ng pagkakaroon ng self-confidence o tiwala sa sarili. Hindi siya takot mahusga ng mga tao. Like, may mga pagkakataong mahiya ang isang tao dahil takot siyang mahusgan, takot siyang maghuhusgan na maaaring ibang bato na iba sabihin sa kanya. Dahil may mga taong ganun talaga yung pag-ugali. Hindi rin siya nanghinaan ng loob kahit anumang pagkatalo o pagkabigo sa buhay na. Isang halimbawa dito ay pagsali sa mga paligsahan o patimpalak sa isang paaralan. Ang isang mag-aaral ay may talento sa pagkanta dahil may tiwala sa kanyang sarili. Subukan niya sumalit ipakita ang kanyang talento sa ibang tao, manalo man o matalo. Dalaban ulit siya kahit matalo man siya. Hindi mo kinakaya ang sarili mo. Yung kahit yung mga flows mo, pakita mo. Ang mga taong mayayain ay walang tiwala sa sarili. Iniisip nila lang hindi nila kaya kahit kayang-kaya naman. Minsan naisip lang hindi sila magaling sa isang bagay kahit na may kaya na naman at talento. Kaya kung may tiwala ka sa sarili mo, palagi mong iisipin na kaya mo at hindi ka susuko hanggat may gusto ka pang patunay sa sarili mo. Gawin mo lang, maging porsigido ka, maabot yung mga pangarap sa buhay para sa iyong pamilya din. Ang pagkakaroon ng tiwala sa iyong sarili ang magdadala sa iyo sa buhay na pangarap mo. Magkatagumpay ka dito dahil hindi ka sumasuko. Porsigido kang maabot ang mga kalayunin at mitsin mo sa buhay. Kahit ano man ang hirap at pagsubang iyong pagdaraanan, basta alam mo sa sarili mo na kaya mo. Magpatuloy ka hanggat hindi mo naabot ang mga pangarap mo, huwag kang susuko. Kaya lang sumuko ay laging talo sa buhay. Hindi mo maisip ang salitang pagsuko. Lalaban at lalaban ka hanggang kaya mo at hindi mo kailan maisip ang sumuko.
Self-confidence is basically yung pagkakaroon mo ng trust sa sarili mo, pagtitiwala sa sarili, na kaya mong gawin yung isang bagay na kahit alam mong mahirap, ay kaya mong gawin. Halimbawa na lang, isa tuwing may reporting, kahit may takot ka o nahihiya ka magsalita sa harap ng mga tao or classmate mo, may confidence na gawin ito sa pagiging positibo at pagtitiwala sa sarili.
Ang next na topic natin is the importance of self-awareness. So, in the Johari's windows, there's have a four selves that represent you, which is the first is the open self. This represents all the information, behaviors, attitudes, feelings, desire, motivation, ideas, and so on that you know about yourself and that others also know about you. Ang ibig sabihin po dito ay kinakatawan ng impormasyong alam mo tungkol sa iyong sarili at alam ng iba tungkol sa iyo. So, ang next naman po natin is the blind self. This represent information about yourself that others that know but you don't know. So, ang ibig sabihin naman po neto ay kinakatawan ang impormasyon tungkol sa iyo na alam ng iba ngunit hindi mo alam.
The third one in Johari's window is the unknown self. This represents those part of yourself about which neither you nor others know. This is something you don't know about yourself and others don't know as well. Ibig sabihin, hindi mo alam na may ganun ka palang kakayahan o anumang tungkol sa sarili mo na hindi rin alam ng ibang tao o ng mga taong nakapaligid sa'yo. In short, walang nakakaalam. For example, alam nila o alam mo sa sarili mo na mahiyain ka, mahinhin, mahina ang boses, introvert, and then tapos bigla kang pinapunta sa stage. Tapos, you catch the audience attention. Nakuha mo ang mga kiliti nila. And then, nalaman mo na kaya mo pala maging public speaking, kaya mo palang gawin yon sa harap ng maraming tao. So, nalaman mo na kaya mo pala yon gawin kasi nasubukan mo na. Lastly, the hidden self. This contains all that you know of yourself but you keep hidden from others. These are the things that you know about yourself but you manage to hide those to people around you. Ibig sabihin, kilala mo yung sarili mo, kilalang kilala mo, pero hindi mo sinasabi sa ibang tao. But you didn't let others to know about that. This is the opposite of blind self. The common example of it is our weaknesses and our negative side. So, the example of it, kunyari, iyakin ka, soft-hearted, takot mag-take risk, ganyan, tapos mabiling sumuko, yung mga negative side mo. But, pinapakita mo sa ibang tao na kaya ko tong gawin, malalagpasan ko to, ganyan. Tapos, motivated enough. Ayun, parang pinapakita mo sa ibang tao na matapang ka. So, siguro kaya mo yung ginagawa para hindi ka kaawaan or maawa sa iyo ibang tao or ayaw mo maging mukhang kaawa-awa or depende na lang din sa pakikisama sa mga taong nakapaligid sa'yo. This model or the Johari's window is also denoted as feedback or disclosure model of self-awareness. Johari's window model is used to enhance the individual's perception on others. Trust can be acquired by revealing information about you to others and learning yourselves from their feedbacks.
Roots of the Filipino character. So what are the factors that greatly affect the roots of the Filipino strengths and weaknesses? First is the home environment. The home plays a vital role in the development of the character of individuals. The childbearing practices, family relations, and family attitudes and orientation are the main components of the home environment. Second is the social environment. We are social beings and we cannot live without the support of one another. No one can survive without depending on another person. We all have depended on someone at some point in our life, like our parents. Third, the culture and language. Filipinos have been noted as warm, devoted to family, and with sense of joy and humor. As part of our culture, and reinforced by all the socializing forces such as the family, school, and the peer group. Other factors are history, the educational system, religion, the economic environment, the political environment, mass media, and leadership and role models.
Strength of the Filipino character. Mapag-uusapan natin dito yung iba't ibang uri ng character bilang isang Pilipino. Let's proceed first sa pakikipagkapwa-tao, regards for others. And also, narito din yung family orientation, joy and humor, flexibility, adaptability, creativity, hard work and industry, faith and religiosity, and lastly is ability to survive. Let's proceed first sa pakikipagkapwa-tao, regards for others. Ano nga ibig sabihin ng pakikipagkapwa-tao? Ang pakikipagkapwa-tao ay isang mahalagang konsepto sa kulturang Pilipino. Ito ay ang pagbibigay halaga, pag-aalaga at pagrespeto sa ibang tao. Sa panahon ngayon kung saan ang teknolohiya ay patuloy na nagbabago ang paraan ng ating pakikipag-ugnayan sa iba, napakahalaga pa rin na maunawaan at isapuso ang diwa ng pakikipagkapwa-tao. Sa artikulong ito, ating tatalakayin ang kahulugan ng pakikipagkapwa-tao at kung bakit ito mahalaga sa ating lipunan. Ang pakikipagkapwa-tao ay nangangahulugan ng pagkilala at pag-alaga sa mga kapwa nating tao. Ito ay ang kakayahang magpakumbaba, magbigay at makinig sa iba. Sa bawat kilos at salita, ipinapakita natin ang respeto at pagmamalasakit sa ibang tao. Ang pakikipagkapwa-tao ay naglalayong bumuo ng harmonya at pagpapakita ng pagkakaisa sa ating lipunan. And also, let's proceed sa family orientation. Ano nga ba ibig sabihin ng family orientation? Ang family orientation ay ito naman yung pakikipag-ugnayan natin sa ating mga pamilya. Like is yung the way na paano natin sila makakausap at kung paano natin sila papahalagahan sa pamamagitan ng pakikipag-usap natin sa kanila. Kaya nga natin tinawag na family orientation is kailangan araw-araw natin silang na-orient or nakakausap bilang isang Pilipino. And lastly is faith and religiosity. Alam naman nating mga Pilipino na may iba't iba tayong paniniwala at relihiyon. Nasa sa atin na rin yon kung paano natin papahalagahan yung paniniwala natin sa ating relihiyon.
Good afternoon, ma'am, and good morning, ma'am, or good afternoon. Yeah. My name is Jeremiah Nathan Mike Santos, and then I discuss the weaknesses of the Filipino characters. So, what are those the Filipino characters? Extremely personalism, extremely family centeredness, lack of discipline, passivity, and lack of initiative. Colonial mentality, kanya-kanya syndrome, lack of self-analysis and self-reflection, Filipino indulgence, mana na habits, and the fiesta syndrome, and also the hospitality. And so, first I discussed the extreme personalism. In Filipino culture, is the emphasis on the strong family and community ties. While this bond can be a source of strength and support, they can be also leads to the focus on the personal relationship and connection at the expense of the merit and object criteria. And the next of weaknesses of the Filipino is the extreme family centeredness. In Filipino culture, is this the potential of the nepotism, favoritism in the various aspects of the society, such as in workplace, government, and other institutions. This means that individuals may prioritize their needs and interests of their family members over the objective qualified candidates of the overall welfare of the organization. So the next weaknesses of the Filipino is the lack of discipline. So some of the Filipinos lack of disciplines is may focus on individual or communities in the may leads the efficiently disorganized and difficult in achieving long-term goals and difficult achievements. And without discipline, it can be challenging to maintain the consistent work habits like schedules, rules, and regulation. So the next discipline is the passivity and lack of initiative, and also the colonial mentality. So what is the colonial mentality? Colonial mentality is refers to the mindset influenced by history of colonized in the Philippines and the lingering effects of the colonial rule, which not all the Filipinos are affected. Some may exhibit behavior and attitude that reflects of lack of confidence in their own culture, heritage, and capabilities, and instead of hold a favorable view in Western ideas. Then ito, the next of the Filipino weaknesses is the kanya-kanya syndrome. So, kanya-kanya syndrome is refers to the mentality that emphasizes individualism and self-interest over the communal of collective well-being in the context of the Filipino society. This mentality can be seen as a weakness when it leads to the lack of cooperation, empathy, and social responsibility, ultimately hinder and process and unity. So, the next is the mana-mana habits. Manana habits pala. So, manana habits typically refers to the culture traits that is as associated with the procrastination, particular in the context of the Spanish-speaking culture. The often used describe the tendency to delay put of tasks you until the last minute. In the case of the Philippines, a similar concept might be refers at a manana habits, denoting a similar tendency toward a procrastination. So the next syndrome is the next weaknesses of the Filipino pala is the fiesta syndrome. Meron mga several weaknesses ang syndrome. Filipino um, na-include dito yung financial strain. Financial strain is the pleasure to the host or attend and extravagant celebration can be leads on the opera spending of financial difficulties for individuals and families. And the next is the prioritizing social status over the financial well-being. The desires to maintain social standing and be perceived as generous hospitable can be lead to expand spending that may not be sustainable for many households. And also part ng fiesta syndrome is the lack of financial planning. So the focus on this celebration on this fest festivities can lead on the lack of long-term financial planning, making it difficult for individual and families to save for the future or emergency expenses. So yun po ang aking part na weaknesses of the Filipino culture. So, ano ulit yung weaknesses of the Filipino culture? Is the extreme personalism, extreme family-centeredness, lack of discipline, passivity of the lack of initiative, colonial mentality, kanya-kanya syndrome, lack of analysis, of self-reflection, Filipino indulgence, manana habits, the fiesta syndromes, and also the hospitality.